The Department of Natural Resource and Conservation Renewable Resource Private Water Grant was established to support water projects by non-governmental entities. The intent of the program is to provide funding assistance to projects that benefit or develop a water resource. This funding is available to non-governmental entities, including individuals, associations, partnerships, and corporations. Typical projects include projects that promote water conservation and water quality, dam inspections and repair, irrigation system improvements, septic tank replacement, emergency water system improvements, and watershed improvements. To apply for a renewable resource private water grant, the project must be economically feasible, it must benefit or develop a water resource, and it must show that it will provide a public benefit. The project must be recommended by a government entity, and the applicant must not have received a private water grant in the last 5 years. The applicant cannot be a government entity. An applicant needs to fill out and send in the application before the project begins, and then DNRC will notify the applicant if you are eligible. An applicant can submit an application at any time. If the applicant is awarded funds, the funds will be provided on a reimbursement basis. So when the project is complete, DNRC will enter into a grant agreement with the applicant for 25% of the project costs up to $5,000 if the funding is available. There are things that will need to be considered before submitting an application. First, hold a district meeting to discuss projects that need to be completed. Our suggestion is to discuss all the projects that your district has that needs to be completed. 2, prioritize those projects. What's most important and what would you like to see funded first? And then 3, vote on what to apply for based on funding eligibility. An example of a project that has utilized the Renewable Resource Private Water Grant Program is the Lake Francis East Dam Rehabilitation Project. The owner of the project is the Pontchartrain County Canal and Reservoir Company, a private entity. The dam is utilized for irrigation and municipal water for the city of Conrad, along with recreation and fishing. It was found that the discharge at the outlet works was limited to about 400 to 500 CFS, or about half the design capacity, due to the outlet conduit deterioration. The project cost was $3,430,000, and the sources of funds were $3,425,000 for a private loan and a $5,000 private water grant. The collateral for the loan were the water rights of the Pontchartrain County Canal and Reservoir Company. Some frequently asked questions for the Renewable Resource Private Water Grant is 1. Who can apply for a DNRC Renewable Resource Private Grant? Only private entities can apply for the Renewable Resource Private Grant. Those entities include individuals, associations, partnerships, and corporations. Number 2, does the private grant require a preliminary engineering report? On small projects, a preliminary engineering report is not required. If the project is larger in scope and detail, a preliminary engineering report will be required. Number 3, can you be a government entity and apply for a private grant? And the answer is no. Only private entities can apply for the private water grant. For more information about the Renewable Resource Private Water Grant, applicants can contact Sonia Hoagland, who is the Private Grants and Loans Program Manager. Her phone number is 406-444-0552, and her email is listed on the screen. Also on the screen is a link to the Renewable Resource Private Grant Program so that applicants can find out more information prior to applying. Thank you.